11 years ago, okay? This was the time where it was drama in South Africa, in parliament. They were fighting, you know, the president against opposition. The EFF was there. Actually, I think it was still a new party then. And then they were fighting. And then you remember that it was the time where people, they started viewing the EFF being disrespectful in terms of parliament. That means other people, they looked at this thing and be like, yeah, you are disrespectful to elder people, young people, they must respect old people and blah blah blah. Now the way they were interacting in parliament, guys, you'll remember, okay, it was a lot of drama, right? The big debate then, they had to take a debate, you know, and talk about respect. So let's take a listen to this. You've got some different people there that are going to speak. I hope you enjoy this. Please, ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do while you are still watching, okay? Please, guys, let's go.
Futhi, let me start with you because there seems to be a double standard here. So the president can use humor to poke fun at his opponent in parliament, and yet nobody else can?
No, but look, I mean, I don't think that there must be rules against humor. There shouldn't be. But I think that, and I think to coin it or to phrase it as though it should be respect between the elders and the young ones, I think it's a bit problematic. The point is, we are members of parliament. We are in society. I'm young, you old, or I'm old, you young. There must be respect either way.
Before we get on to that, though, I have to remind you that you too were on the podium calling for the spear to be brought down. So hence I'm asking, where do we draw that line? Who is allowed to poke fun? No, but you see,
we cannot depoliticize humor. I think we must not think that if a comedian goes on stage and poke fun about politicians or about any subject in society, we must not think that that is politically neutral. It is never. And similarly with art. And I think that, you know, the point about the spear was, I mean, you're drawing the genitalia of any individual, whether be it the president or the chief of the constitutional court. I don't think that it's acceptable. You know, so there has to be a line drawn between what is an insult and what is humorous. But I also think that we need to protect, you know, the esteem of institutions such as parliament, you know, and all of that.
All right. Nkosi Phathekile, why should we bring culture within a different context into parliament? I mean, shouldn't we revert to our constitution, which says that everybody is equal?
It's a question of whose values, whose culture we're talking about. Our culture as Africans is different from the culture of other people who are not Africans. Satire is part of our way of life. We have court jesters, even in our own courts. We have poets, praise singers, who say things that people ordinarily would not say, pointing out the faults of the leader. But it has nothing to do with insulting a person. It's again a question of whose culture depicts genitalia. We have people in Africa who are sculptors, who draw images of human beings. We never see any of those showing genitalia. You go to Europe, you see them showing genitalia of Michelangelo, if it is Michelangelo or David or whoever, thinking with his genitalia on the outside. That is the white man's culture as far as I understand. It's not our culture as Africans.
We need to define those boundaries a little clearer. Gareth, you've just said, oh, that's very mature. What do you disagree with in what Nkosi Phathekile has just said?
Well, Nkosi Phathekile says it's about culture, and certainly it is. But then, you know, we live in a constitutional democracy where everybody's equal. And I don't have a traditional leader, and I don't have to listen to anyone. And as far as I'm concerned, humor is so subjective that what you find funny, I might not, and what I find funny, you might not. But my only guiding principle is that I will be prepared to defend the things that please you and that upset me, because that's what freedom of expression is. It's not what you like and everyone else can get stuffed, because that's what it sounds like.
So surely as a white boy then, who doesn't have a traditional
Am I?
leader, who doesn't have a traditional leader, then you're being disrespectful by default.
Probably, and that's offensive to traditional people.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's very offensive to traditional people. But I'm very glad to be alive in 2015, where old traditional people are evaluated just like everyone else, because we're all citizens of an equal, ebullient, growing, young democracy, where the young people outnumber the old people by 10 to 1 anyway.
All right. Ntsiki, you are a black woman in modern day society, but you come from a fairly traditional, cultured family. So do you believe that everybody deserves equal respect, or is it earned?
I think that respect begets respect. I think that if you behave in a respectable manner, people are going to respect you. I think that South Africa is suffering from a situation where there's an elephant in the middle of the room and nobody wants to address it. We didn't have these issues when Thabo Mbeki was the president. We didn't have these issues when Madiba was the president. But
why do you think that is?
The South African public obviously has an issue in terms of the current presidency. And people wouldn't just... Nobody's just going to draw the genitalia of someone. If you don't want the president's genitalia to be drawn, then please have a president that is not putting out their stuff.
So, Micah, you work for freedom of expression. You're all about that. What are your thoughts so far?
Fully agree. I mean, leaders, if they can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Your political leaders, there's a public interest in scrutinizing you, in satirizing you. This is the essence of democracy.
We have to scrutinize you.
Exactly. And if you can't take it, then go and live in some monastery somewhere, withdraw from public life. But and this is the axiomatic response of any unaccountable and authoritarian leader, is to say, no, you must respect us. We will impose respect. No, hell no, respect must be earned. And our thief in chief has not earned it. And the people who are defending him have not earned it.
Thank you.
What about the right to basic human dignity? Mbuyiseni?
Oh, look.
Like not being beaten up in Parliament.
Yeah. Look, I think we have a crisis in South Africa, and the crisis is not of followers. The crisis is the legitimacy of those in authority.
Yes.
They are not legitimate because there's Marikana on the table. I will never respect anybody who will stand and defend what happened in Marikana.
Thank you.
34 people get killed. Not even a single politician. Well, I'm talking about 44. I'm talking about the massacre. People that were killed on the 16th of August is 34, who were killed in open public view by police in the same way Sharpeville happened, in the same way 76 happened. And that's what I'm talking about. Now, but I wanted to say, there's Nkandla. I'll never respect a person who comes into public and does not worry that a president unduly benefited on so big a corrupt deal. I mean, you move from there, let's go to Parliament. Why is the EFF told and portrayed by example, the chief, that were disrespectful? Is because in Parliament you've got people who want to rule on the basis of the opinion of their authority and not the rules. They remind us every day of their age. They remind us every day of their power. They don't respond to questions. If you're not accountable, I cannot respect you. If you don't respect the people's dignity, the people that put us in that parliament, I cannot respect you. We're in a professional relationship who must relate on the basis of the professional rules that we agree upon. Outside of that, go to your home, get respect there, not from us.
But do you accept that there's something of a legitimacy issue here?
No, there's no issue about legitimacy. Look, South Africans went to elections in 2014, and their will was expressed there. So the government of the day is legitimate. I think that's the first thing. But the second thing is that there's no one who said that there shouldn't be questions raised in Parliament, or there's no one who has defended what happened, which was police brutality meted out against workers in 2012 in Marikana. The point is that young or old, I think what
can you
we
go on
must
record
have,
to say
what
Cyril
we must
Ramaphosa was
have-
wrong to have
No,
sent an
no, no,
email
no.
to
No.
influence police
What-
action?
Look, there
That's
was-
why I don't
look,
respect Cyril Ramaphosa.
I mean, look,
That's why I have no regard for him as a person.
You can't. You have been saying the Falam Commission's report must come out into the public. The report has come out into the public. You were expecting that the report will find guilt on the part of someone in the executive. That's what you were hoping for. But the fact that it didn't happen, you can't put that on me.
But should I respect respect
no,
Ramaphosa?
I mean,
Who
that's your
writes
issue.
emails
That's your
workers
issue.
must be criminalized?
You choose whoever you respect. But
Nsiki, you've been looking at Upoti with shock and horror, particularly when we refer to the question of legitimacy. What's going on in your head?
It's not legitimate. That's why the country's the way it is right now. Nobody respects leadership because there's no one worthy of our respect.
But we voted, isn't that fair?
We need to go back to the drawing board as to how we choose our leaders, because it has proven itself that the way we've done it in the past does not work. ANC cannot choose for all of us. Doesn't work.
When we return...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, listen. I'm not going to be like and I'm not going to addressing the story of respect in Parliament and all of that. Okay, one thing you must know about South Africa is that when you get to Parliament, you must remember that you are no longer a father of some. Okay, let me say, you are no longer somebody, I don't know whether to say somebody who can demand respect, okay? Not according to me, according to what in Parliament usually happens, okay? Because that is a place where the resources of the country are being fought for. That means everyone wants to get hold of the resources of South Africa. Every political party that is in Parliament, they are all gunning for one thing and one thing only: to be in power and control the resources. Obviously, there's going to be some disrespect, okay? But if you are also in government, you must know, you must expect it. You are going to be scrutinized, you are going to be insulted, you are going to be accused, you are going to be called by names, you are going to be, all these things, they will be done to you because you are in power, okay? You can even tell, I can even make an example of in America, right? We've got a president, which is Mr. Trump. You would expect, right? Because he's a billionaire, what, people will respect him because he's a billionaire. No. They don't respect him, they don't like him, they don't even want him even there. You know why? Because when it comes to politics, when it comes to the resources of the country, it's not the resources of some few people. It is the resources of everyone. So everyone wants to get hold of that, right? Now, let me just close with what Miss Nsiki said, okay? I think Mr. Manamela there was talking and he was saying legitimately and whatever. Now, according to the votes at that time, obviously we all know that they were there because they were voted there, okay? Unfortunately, guys, even Mrs. Sichava, when she said that, she asked the question and said, yeah, but they voted for them, But anyway, she wasn't, Nsiki was not paying attention to that question. But let me just say this, guys, okay? When it comes to politics, when you are voted and when we vote, right? When people get to Parliament and they elect a president, guess what? There's nothing you can do anymore, because of the way people have voted. That is how South Africa is. Whether the person is you don't like him, whether you like him, whether he's been accused of things, whether he's whatever. The fact is, when they get to Parliament and they vote him in, he's going to be there. All right? And unfortunately, whether you think they are legitimate or they are not, the fact is they are there, they were voted there. That is why a lot of people, they will say that let us come together then as South Africans. If we think the government is not doing what we are telling them to do, let's go there and let's vote. Just like what happened right now when people, they were when we were voting and we ended up having the GNU. Some people, they didn't vote. Okay, it is your choice. It is your choice at the end of the day, even though they encourage you to go and vote and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we all know that not everyone votes, and we all know that people make that choice to not vote. It's up to people, okay? Now, when it comes to respect in Parliament, I will talk about that one day. But all I can say is, Parliament is Parliament, guys. You can imagine that if we are all, or if people are in Parliament and they are busy brushing each other's feelings, they are very careful, they are what. And you would remember, guys, when this debate was happening, it was the time where the EFF was very strong, because they ended up describing them as disrespectful to the elders, okay? But at the time, we all know what was happening between the ANC and the EFF and Mr. Zuma. We all know what was happening, and that was actually expected, you know? Anyway, tell me, guys, what do you think? Tell me what is your take on this topic. You can tell me, guys, whether you think that in Parliament there must be that respect, blah, blah, blah. But we all know, guys, there are ways that you can address people even without insulting them. I believe so. You know, some people, they get emotional and all that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, okay? Give me your comment in the comment section. And also you can tell me actually what I almost say Mr. Nsiki said there, because those were very, I think they were those points that they was made. Now Mr. Ndlozi actually goes on, I said I'm closing, but I'm sorry, guys. Mr. Ndlozi says that he will never respect any person who allow people to be killed, whatever, in Marikana, blah, blah, blah. And then he says that when it comes to the respect, you know, it has to be, you must be in power. And if you are in power, you must make sure that you respect people. If you are not respecting people, you are not respecting the office, you are doing things that show that you are disrespectful, he says that they will not actually respect you, you know. And I don't know, guys, it's up to you. And obviously there is culture, there is what in here and whatever. I can tell you, when you get to Parliament, culture is forgotten. Culture is forgotten. Trust me. When you get to Parliament, people, they switch off. It's them against us. It's like, who is going to outshine who? You know, that's part of politics anyway. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I am out.